Hey, how's it going? I want to swatch the Art and Fly alcohol ink markers. So I made this very crude swatching chart. Now it does come with a swatching chart. Let me tell you. This is it. But if you look, you can't really tell. There are no names on the markers. These are brush markers. They're dual ended, I guess. One side is brush, the other side is chisel. They're not really in the order. This one is not in the order. And how did you do that, Tammy? How'd you get that red on there? I can take it off with the alcohol ink markers, but I'm not going to swatch this one. I'm going to swatch this one, and these are set up in the way I want them to. The way I want them to appear in the box, or when I transfer them over to a case, the way I want them to appear in the case. So, starting with pink, and moving all the way this way, orange, and then yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, grays, black, and blender. So it does come with a blender. Yay! And the good thing that I discovered about these is when I cover something that's glossy and I run a baby wipe over it, it doesn't come off. So this is another crude item, crudely colored. Now the coloring is not as good as I'd like it to be, and I use the brush end, but right now I'm going to break away for a second, just a second for you, and bring back a couple of more that I did earlier today. Okay, so this one is done with one of these two items. I can't, maybe both. Like I might have started, I think I started with this one and then ran over it with this one because this was much lighter than I thought it would be. And really? No. So I even marked this A and F for Art and Fly because I wanted to also do this one, which was done with an orange Sharpie permanent brush marker. So this one, applying this was much easier. Any kind of smudge marks are just that, you know, that it's sticky. It's still sticky, actually. And I did this afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and it's early Sunday morning right now. But when I ran a baby wipe over this one, some of the orange came off. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm always in search of the perfect alcohol ink marker that will resist this, the baby wipe. You can see it right there. Look at that. See that? So it doesn't take it off completely. You know, there's still that, the gloss and the shine is still there, but it comes off onto the baby wipe, which is a little disturbing. Now I'm going to use another baby wipe, and I'm going to wipe this one. And look how little came off. Very, very little compared to the Sharpie. Compared to the Sharpie one, that's terrible. Sharpie. I thought it was the Sharpie markers were more solvent based, but now I'm thinking they're more on the lines of, they are alcohol ink markers, but if there's any solvent in there. It's very little, and the colors are more water based in an alcohol solution of sorts, I guess. I guess that's what I want to say. I don't know. But these are, you're probably thinking, what are these? Oh, look, toilet paper rolls. No, these are not toilet paper rolls. You can see the red trim on them. I'm gonna do the green one too. These are, or they were, holders for orange sherbet. So they're the push-ups, you know, and I bought a pack of them from Schwann's, and I mix them with vanilla ice cream to make dreamsicles, the dreamsicle flavoring. So that is cool. So that's what I'm thinking. I wonder if Art and Fly, because I had never used them. I bought these like a few months ago. Oh man, I'm going to say I may have bought them in 2019, and now it's May 2020, and this is the first chance I've had to play around with them. And I thought, let me try them on these little rolls, these cardboard tubes that are already covered with a glossy paper on them. And I thought, oh, they'll probably wipe off like all the other ones. No. And they don't wipe off. An even better thing for me, because I almost never color on paper with alcohol ink markers, they do not wipe off on plastic. So what I did before coming on here was I went through and I just did a swatch. And this is like, it had that, nope. It's, you know, typical plastic, so sometimes it beads up, and that's this part there that beat it up. And I came in here and I swatched only the brush side. Now it's like, you can clearly see that this is brush and this is chisel, but I'm going to show you the chisel. Oh, well, you can see, what is that, like 1/8 of an inch maybe? Man, I don't even know. I had my ruler right here because I had to do my swatch jobby. My swatch jobby. Let's see. Almost 1/8 of an inch, not quite. The swatching card is set up in centimeters, so maybe it's a 1/4 of a centimeter is what I'm thinking. The width of the chisel. And then what's the other width? The length is a little over 1/2 centimeter. That's weird that it's not. It's 1/4 of an inch. Isn't that interesting? 1/4 of an inch by not quite 1/8 of an inch, and then this is the brush part. And it's actually pretty good. I'm going to show you on here my parchment paper. It's a little bit soft at the top. Just the right amount that you might need to do different widths while you're writing with them or drawing with them or something like that. Okay, let me put this one away before I get confused and start off with the wrong one. Okay, and it dries very fast, and like I said, it doesn't come off with a baby wipe. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that is awesome. If I did that with, wait. If I did that with this orange Sharpie brush marker. So you give it a little bit of time for it to semi-dry. About the same amount of time that I used when I did that. Okay, just a minute. I'm gonna find the Sharpie one is wrapped in. Oh, well, it works on parchment paper. Oh, it still comes off, though. It doesn't come off completely, but it still comes off, and maybe it would smudge. I hope it wouldn't smudge. I don't know, I can't tell. I can't tell. Okay, back to work. Back to work. Get to work. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? Do I want to set these out? I just had all of these out before. The box has plastic trays, but only at the bottom here. Just enough to hold these all in place in the box, right? Squeak, squeak, squeak. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. I'm gonna swatch these. I'm going to do first the chisel side. This is what it looks like on plastic. I have a lot of light coming down here. It might not show. Ooh. So I want to try that. That and that chisel. Is it too bright in here? It might be too bright. Is that better? Oh yeah, that looks fine. I think that looks fine. Okay, I am going to pull that out because I'm too tempted to... What is that? RP9? And I messed up down here on the number. I'm like, oh man, Tammy. It's just... I hate when I do stuff like that. I did that the other day for something. Oh, I think it was for the South Sun oil-based pencils, colored pencils I have. Pretty, pretty. Eventually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take some paper tape and put it here and draw on it or color in that paper tape, you know, and then put it, that way I know what it looks like on paper if I don't happen to have this card with me. So that's usually what I do with my markers. Oh yeah, I like that better. And see how this one is very light, so I had to touch it up like that. The very, very light ones where I can barely read the color. Where I can barely see the color. I don't have any words anymore. I'm word free. I don't know what Blue is doing. I think he might have a bug trapped somewhere in the hall. He's moving his boxes around. I can hear the shuffling. I don't know if you can hear that shuffling, but that's Blue. I'm surprised he's not talking, because when he has a bug, he likes to tell me about it. So we're just moving along. Ooh, pretty, pretty. Moving right along. I'm still working on it. That's all. It's also a very short amount of space there. So I went through and I put the first row back, and then I couldn't get it into the box, and I did this one already. So and then I pulled all 3 of the remaining trays out. There are 12 in a tray, 4 trays, 48 markers. I don't want to say colors because the blender is not a color. Is clear a color? Ooh, I'm getting better. This one, you see how there's a silver foil, it's well, silver colored there, or a mirror colored trim. It's about that wide, I guess. And this comes off because I put score tape there, and I painted this, I colored this orange because I lost the little I'm telling you, comedy of errors. I don't know how it's over there somewhere. I heard it, and I just kind of, I was in shock. I was like, okay, in shock. So I put this on with score tape so it'll stay in there. And it's on the chisel end, so I'm not really, whatever. It is a little, I might put foil in there or something. You know I'm going to figure out something to put there, too. I don't want to leave it out, you know, so... And I don't want to lose it. I've already lost it a long time ago. Okay, so I had to tell you about that. Okay, I wanted to put the markers away and and put the markers away. Okay, so I turned that off because it takes me a while. Okay, we're on BG1. I'm figuring that's BG for blue-gray. See, I lost my groove. Whatever. Okay, I paused the updates on the computer for 7 days. So, it's calming down, and this is... I'll just do this now. Usually it does app updates. Minor app updates. And... I know I talk a lot about my computer because it makes a lot of noise usually while I'm doing my crafting, my hacks and all that. Drives me bonkers. I'm using a desktop computer, so it has a loud graphics card. When I play a certain game on my computer, every day I play that that game. And it's just a match 3 game. It's no biggie. It kind of drives me bonkers a little bit because it constantly revs the graphics card fans. And I have another match 3 game I play, and that doesn't make any noise whatsoever. It's a quiet, quiet game. Oh, this is very light. This is WG 0.5, which I am assuming is warm gray. More like a very light tan. Also, on the plastic here, it'll be very difficult to see it. You can kind of see, I did like a dotting effect so that I could see it, kind of, sort of. Wrong end. This is another one that's light. This is CG 0.5, which is cool gray. It comes out a little bit better on... I'm not giving myself much room here for... On the paper, it comes out much better on the paper than it does on the plastic. So, it's on there. It's... Oh, wait. It's on there, but it's very difficult to see. I don't know what the cat's found. Oh, I have a box, a very small box where I just alternated the flaps to close it, and I put one of their, like, rattle toys in there. It's been in there for a long time. And occasionally they mess around with it, or if, like I said, if they have a bug and it's nearby, they're gonna make a lot of noise with that box. So if it's too loud, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. I don't want to disturb their play or their hunt, for that matter. Oh, the other night, man, they had a bug cornered. And we get the warm weather coming in. The bugs like to come in for some nice coolness. And I'm thinking, okay, they have a bug, a little tiny beetle bug, or one of those roly-poly bugs that when you touch it, it rolls up into a little ball. I thought they had one of those or something. And finally, I get up and I go over to where they are. And what they like to do, both of them, it doesn't matter which one, usually it's blue, they like to pick up the bug and then run to another place with it and then drop it and then mess around with it with their paws, you know, bat it around and stuff. And then pick it up again and take it somewhere else. And I'm like, don't take it upstairs! And I don't want that thing upstairs. And so it was in the kitchen. The bug was in the kitchen. Blue was in the kitchen. And he was getting ready to pick it up. I'm like, drop it! You know, and I'm yelling at him to drop it. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? Drop it! So he couldn't pick it up fast enough, and he had to leave it behind. And I go over to look at it, and it is, I am no lie, it is a giant ant. Giant. And I was like, oh my lord, what the heck is that? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'm going to do the swatching the blender so you can see how it looks when I apply it. See how that is like almost like a grease mark, but it will dissipate and go away. Because I cleaned something up over here where I had some red mark or something, and it got rid of it. Now I'm sure you want to know about this giant ant. I'm going to show you. It was the width of the body was, I can compare it to a pencil, the width of a pencil. So, where's the width of one of these pencils. See these pencils? And, so we're talking about that wide, and it was about an inch long, and as wide as a pencil. I was like, I smashed it with a box because I was like, what is that? And once I had it then I picked it up with a paper towel, and I was able to look at it more closely. I'm like, that's an ant. I have never, well, actually, it's not that I've never seen an ant that big before in person, so to speak. Several years ago, when I was in, I can do this while I'm talking. Several years ago, when I was teaching a class. It was an afternoon, and my students were, I wasn't at that point of teaching, but we were coming back from lab and going to our classroom. So we were going from Building H, for those of you who are my students and you're subscribed to my channel. We were going from Building H to, I think they go in like this. Like this. No, it's wrong. Oh wait, I have to get this straightened out first. We're going from Building H. Why am I having these problems? To Building G. Oh, it goes this way. And one of my students, I didn't see it in the parking lot, but one of my students found an ant that size and picked it up and brought it to the classroom and showed me, and it measured, I think I took a picture of it. I'm not sure I still have it though. Or I said, take a picture of it and send it to me or something, so I had them send me a picture. And I could not believe at that time how big that ant was. It was the same size. And I thought, wow, I have never, ever, here in the valley, I've never seen an ant that big, never. And there it was on campus. You know, like strolling along in the parking lot. I don't know how my students saw it in the parking lot, since it's a black top parking lot. So, oh, bring it back. And that's when I just couldn't believe how big it was. It was like, okay, also like to think the width of a college ruled notebook paper, or it might have been wide ruled notebook paper, the width. I was just amazed. So I haven't seen any more of those ants, but I'm thinking, where did that ant come from? Where are those ants coming from, you know? I definitely do not want any more of those ants in the house. And I've been here since 1991, and I've been in this apartment since 2011, and I've never, ever seen an ant that big. Never. So, I have no idea where it came from. Any ideas? I'm thinking, stop ordering food from Amazon, Tammy, because things are coming over. Yikes. It was over here for a time. It was they had the ant cornered near my chair and stuff near my chair. I'm like, what is there, you know? And then they were able to pick it up and take it to the kitchen. I don't know, but it just freaking me out. The things my kitties find. So now they probably have another bug. And now I'm getting ready to sign off. I know, I talk a lot. But I had to tell you the bug story. It's important that I tell you that bug story. It was important to me. I have to share. Okay, so what do we have? These beautiful, I guess you want to see it maybe up close. Up close and personal. Try to go slowly. You can look at the brown. Not too bad, actually. Some of them are very light, like those two right there. Showing you with my phone. And the blender, as you can see, it is no longer it's no longer visible. The blender is blank. This looks like the blender here, but there's a slight tan color to it. So warm gray has kind of a slight tan color to it. Cool gray has more of a gray. You can see more of the gray in it. Warm gray. When I was doing these numbers, I was thinking, Tammy, you should put these W gray. I thought there was another W gray together, and then C cool gray together. I should have put them like that, but you know, it's okay. I'm fine with this. Also, should have put maybe this closer to the brown because I can see brown, some brown in there, and maybe some gray. Hard to say. Hard to say. Okay. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. I got the spinner out. Last night it was delightful. So we randomize and hope it's not delightful. Have a perspicacious day. I gotta deactivate that word. Bye.